To start filming, all you need is a camera and a lens. But if you get into it and you have some budget available, you're going to end up creating a rig. A rig is a single unit with everything that you need to shoot easily, efficiently, and successfully. You can think of a rig as the combined solution to all the problems that you would encounter if you were shooting with just a camera and a lens. For example, video eats batteries. The ones in this camera last about 40 minutes. So part of my rig is a big external battery that lets me shoot all day. The starting point for any rig is what's known as a cage. You can think of this as an exoskeleton around your camera, with attachment points for accessories. Some things like handles you can attach directly to the cage, but cages also let you connect to rod systems. The rods kind of look like they're part of the tripod, but they're in fact connected to the camera cage via a base plate. We'll talk shortly about those rods and the two things I have attached to them. Let's look first at what's directly attached to the cage, starting with this wooden side handle. This is helpful for handheld shooting with the rig, but also comes in handy as a way to help turn the rig on the tripod. This small rig handle is comfortable, reversible, and height adjustable. The small rig top handle makes the whole rig easy to carry, but it also serves as a handy attachment point, in my case for a monitor and external SSD, as we'll see. A rig may also influence your choice of lenses. One of the key selling points of these Meike Cine lenses is that they have a consistent length and a consistent focus ring position, which makes it really easy to change lens without adjusting your rig. The two things I have attached to the rods are the follow focus system and the matte box, so let's talk about these. Getting at the focus ring is quite awkward when the camera is in a rig, so almost everybody uses what's known as a follow focus system. As you turn the ring, a gearing system engages with a cog on the focus ring to turn that. One problem I found is a lack of space between the follow focus knob and the matte box, which I'll explain in a moment. I had to set the follow focus as far back on the rods as possible so that it just barely engages with the focus cog, but it still works smoothly and reliably like this. A matte box is basically just a big lens hood with a movable flag that allows you to control the overhead light. I use a small rig plastic and carbon fibre one, which is extremely lightweight. To clear the follow focus ring, I do have to have a bit of a gap between the lens and the matte box, but that's not a problem even with my widest lens, which is a 12mm one. I could use matte box filters, but personally I prefer the convenience of variable neutral density ones, so I have a B+W one on the lens. This ranges from 0.3 to 1.5 or 1 stop to 5 stops, so it's super flexible. The Pocket Cinema camera does have a really good 5-inch screen, but it doesn't tilt or swivel. An external monitor solves both problems, as well as putting the display at a more comfortable height. This Lilliput A7S is a budget model, but I find it works really well. As I mentioned earlier, I use an external battery pack. The most popular and flexible format is what's known as a V-mount battery. I use the Nano 2 because it's 100 watt-hours, but significantly smaller and lighter than most equivalent brands of the same capacity. The battery feeds the 12V DC port on the Pocket Cinema camera. It powers the camera for about 5 hours, which, allowing for setup changes, direction and so on, is realistically all-day shooting. With some setups I've seen, the battery can get in the way of the touchscreen, so I have it mounted on a folding plate so I can fold it down for changing settings, and then push it back up so it's not in the way when I'm shooting. The V-mount could power the monitor as well, but I have a separate Sony baseplate and battery so that both camera and monitor last all day. Alongside the cables for power in and video out, there's a third one connected to the USB-C port. And that's because the Pocket Cinema camera can record to an external SSD. I use a 1TB Samsung T5, which provides more than 4 hours of capacity for around $150. When I'm done shooting, I just plug the drive straight into my Mac to transfer the footage, so it's super convenient. Many people attach this directly to the top of the cage, but I find it's more out of the way attached vertically to the front of the top handle. I'm using, you guessed it, a small rig cradle. This kind of rig does require a beefy tripod, and I have a Libtech T98. These are solid enough that they're used for full-on TV cameras, and I was lucky enough to pick this one up used for a great price. The best part was that it came with a Manfrotto 509 HD head. New, these things cost $1,000 without the tripod. I paid less than $500 for both. It's built like a tank, but it combines that strength with a delicacy and precision that makes it an absolute joy to use. One of its best features is adjustable counterweights, meaning that you can get any rig perfectly balanced. Both the pan and the tilt axes allow you to adjust the friction from effortless movement to rock solid. As you can see, it offers literal fingertip control. And that's my rig for the BlackMagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Check out the video description for a complete breakdown of all the components and links to each. Thanks for watching. My name is Ben Lovejoy.